Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Hockey Night in Australia. I'm your host, Sean O'Connor, and tonight I am joined by the lovely Claire Collins. Claire, how are you going?
I'm good. I'm good. How are you?
Very good. Filling in for Court, of course, who can't be here. Um, yeah, it's been a busy week. You've been busy?
It's been busy and the socials are just non-stop about finals and clinching options and it's getting exciting.
100%. And our special guest this week, we've got Charlie Fagan over from the UK. Charlie, how you going?
Yeah, good. Thank you for having me.
Thanks for coming on. In case anyone hasn't seen, Charlie's got his social handles of Charlie Hockey 96 on Twitter and not Twitter, Instagram, and what other platforms, Charlie?
TikTok, Instagram,
TikTok.
and TikTok for my hockey content.
Nice. All right, so I think we should probably kick things off by getting into a bit about you, Charlie, so people know who you are who might not have seen you before.
No worries.
How did you get into hockey?
So my background into hockey was actually the Matthew Tkachuk trade.
Oh,
So
really?
yeah, so I'm a big Miami, Florida sports fan in general, but
Okay.
hockey was the one I hadn't explored yet. And my timeline blew up obviously when Tkachuk got traded. So that's when I started looking into hockey, and everyone on my timeline was going crazy about this trade. So I looked into it, and then obviously it was the Florida Panthers, which now are the two-time Stanley Cup champions. So I got into it there, started watching the Florida Panthers, obviously had the heartbreak of the first final, and then it's been good since. But that was how I pretty much got into it, the Matthew Tkachuk trade, which it's really random because it's not like an in-person moment or a friend telling you about it. It was just a random trade that I thought, what is this all about? And that's literally my origin story of hockey. And I've been a Kachuk fan and a Panther fan ever since. And that's how I got into hockey.
I love that because I feel like being an Australian, so many of us, our introduction to hockey was always the Mighty Ducks, and that's what everyone always talks about as being their intro into the hockey world. So yeah, it's great to hear something different. Although Doogie's in the chat here saying we don't talk about that trade. Doogie, of course, is a Flames fan.
The trade that started it all for me.
But yeah, that's pretty crazy. And so, so obviously then you're going for the Florida Panthers.
Yep.
Do you go for any other hockey teams?
Yeah, so my English team is the Romford Raiders. They're in the NIHL, which is sort of the equivalent to the AIHL. But then I'm a big Sparta Prague fan as well, which is the Czech league. So I travelled over there. I travelled over there 2 years ago, first of all, to watch a game, and it blew me away. Like the fans, the culture, like how big hockey was actually. And that was my first introduction to how big hockey was actually in Europe. And it was just incredible. Like the fans were on their feet for like the whole game, chanting.
Yeah.
Just when I walked in and people realised I was like an English person visiting, everyone was so welcoming. And ever since then, I was like addicted to Sparta Prague as well, and like learning everything about that league. And I think that's the one thing for me is now I really enjoy learning about other leagues and other teams and all the fans that go with that league. And I think that's the best part about hockey for me is just sort of realizing all these different leagues are out there and there's so many different cultures and people that love hockey, and everyone in the hockey community is so friendly. That is the one thing about this sport that I feel like is different to every other sport. It's so welcoming and inclusive, and that's why I just love hockey so much now.
That's awesome. It's really interesting. Euro hockey, I found, like I've been to games in Germany and stuff like that before as well. And they are very unique and different to other parts of the world. And that's also what I love about hockey is that you go to a different type of league in a different country and you get, different customs, different traditions. Like the German fans, they're crazy. They're always waving around flags and they have their tifos before games and stuff like this. But yeah, Czech, that's awesome.
Yeah, I feel like the German league as well. It's such like their fans, like you can tell they're like fully football fans as well because like their chants are crazy. That they bring that side of it to the hockey game, which is just brilliant.
You don't by chance then go for the football team as well, do you, Sparta Praha?
it's funny. We went to watch a game, but we was flying back when the game was on out there. So I'm going to go to a game when I'm next out there this season.
Nice. We've got a couple of comments on here. First off, let's go indeed. And obviously their story for getting into hockey, NHL 95. That's an unusual way as well. But I'm sure there's lots of people that are like that play games first. Hey,
but like you also, sorry.
Okay. I said I wasn't even born for NHL 95.
Even what you were saying before, though, about like the fans are so welcoming. It kind of, it doesn't matter where you are. People sense that you're new, and they wrap you and bring you in, and it's a pretty cool community to be a part of.
Yeah, it's definitely a community that doesn't want to gatekeep their sport. Everyone realizes fans are how the game's going to grow. So everyone wants new fans. And I feel like you don't get that in every sport. And it's great to see that everyone just wants new fans, new people to join their game. And obviously just creates great conversation at the end of the day. So I just love it.
We do have another comment here. The Mighty Ducks and the Mighty... And Andrew, home of the Romford Pele Ray Parler.
Yes.
And Jess here is commenting on my jersey tonight. I am wearing a Melbourne Ice jersey tonight. Very kindly donated by Sky Eastham to myself. So thank you, Sky, for sending over the jersey. I'm very chuffed at receiving something. So so repping the Ice jersey tonight. So getting back onto this, obviously, so lots of different fan groups, lots of different areas. How is it in the UK? Have you been to many games in the UK? And how is the hockey culture there?
So I feel like for me, the hockey culture I experience the most is the AIHL, which is obviously the equivalent to the AIHL in Australia. And I go to all of the Romford Raiders games. They're a wild bunch. We're all from the East End of London, which is a rowdy bunch, let's say that. But the Elite League is something I've been getting involved in the off season, learning more about it for this upcoming season. And I've been posting on social media about teach me about the Elite League so I can learn for this upcoming season. And everyone is posting in it, telling me little bits about the league, welcoming me to the league, being like, oh, you got to know this player's this. And it's so good to see. So Guildford is going to be the team I'll be supporting this year in the Elite League. And hopefully I can travel around the country to a few games this year. That's my plan. Get to at least three, maybe 4 games or up the country for me.
Nice. That's awesome. Yeah, I must admit, when I first learnt about English hockey, I went to a game in 2016 for the Braehead Clan, who are now the Glasgow Clan. And before heading over, I was on their fan forums. And, they were telling me all about the team and everything and about the league. Again, very welcoming. And when I got to the game, they actually organised to have the announcer welcome me and my friends at the first intermission, which I thought was pretty cool.
That's what I mean. So welcoming, and you travelled all that way as well. And I feel like especially with English hockey, you don't think of England being a hockey cultured country. And the fans are so passionate, especially about our own hockey, and then obviously so many NHL fans over it. It's growing by the year. We just need to get a game from the NHL over here now, I think, and just to test the waters. But it's in I think it's in Germany this year and somewhere else. Yeah,
we've had an NHL game here, haven't we, Claire?
Yes. Was it Kings versus Coyotes? I think
it was. Yeah.
In
a couple
Melbourne.
of years ago, 2023, I think.
It went wild. Yeah.
Yeah, I want to get out to one of them soon. I was meant to go this year, but it's off the cards this year for me. But next year, definitely.
I think between things like that, and coming off obviously the back of the Winter Olympics, all of those kinds of things, it is growing, and it's getting bigger and bigger, but it's not so big that talking to players is unattainable, and, getting those interviews or being a part of that tight-knit fan base, it's not unachievable, which is still exciting.
Yeah, 100%. I feel like you see, especially with, I think, our 2 leagues, The players are very like in it together to help the game grow. They're always teaming up with people to do podcasts or just speak about their game sort of thing, like with you guys, or Rossi, especially over here, does a lot of that as well. And the players are just always so welcoming to do stuff like that, which is so great to see. And then obviously after games, talking to fans, which obviously that's how it starts for a lot of fans. Like a little kid goes to a game, speaks to a player, and that becomes their favorite player for life sort of thing. And then they're hooked. So it's so good we've still got that side of the game here, which is great.
Yeah.
I totally agree. There are a couple more comments here. Sky saying you're welcome. That's okay, Sky. Doogie saying you're a good egg. I don't care what Dave says about you. Okay. And then Jason, drink every time Sean laughs nervously. Warning, you may die from this. And yes, Ollie with the England flags. Oliver Walker-Peel is one of our commentators here in Australia. He does the Ice Dogs games with Doogie. So, yeah, he also does many other sports as well. He's a big football commentator over here too. He was covering the World Cup recently. So, yeah, pretty awesome. And
cheering you guys on.
Yeah. Red, white, and blue are the better colours. That's a bit of a comment for the comment section, but yeah. So obviously, you found the AIHL. How did you find the AIHL, and have you got a team that you're following?
So I found it through my friend Harrison, who's also a content creator. He posted about it and was like, I found this league, everyone seems so welcoming. We should explore about it. Obviously, it's the off season for us now. It was like, it would be a good adventure for us to like basically meet new people, speak to new people, and just basically find out about a new league. So I posted a few videos about why should I support your team in the AIHL? Give me some reasons. And I think Perth was the one that really stuck out for me. And the admin for Perth really sort of made it known they wanted me as a fan and really engaged with me.
Nice.
So Perth was the team I picked. But there is some other teams that have really, really like made an effort for some of the UK fans and me personally. So the Melbourne Mustangs, I always want to make sure they win. The admin there gave us a shout out as well at a game, which was lovely. But a lot of the players as well have sort of reached out to us, sort of thing, to say thank you for your support. Like it's really appreciated, and just engaged to us on like a nice friendship level. So sort of thing. And then obviously Koi Prevo is my boyfriend back over here. He played for my Raiders.
Oh,
so
nice.
Koi Prevo is one that I'm watching every week at the moment, but my heart is with Perth at the moment.
Yeah, Koi's a fantastic player.
Oh, 100% top guy.
You've picked a good team to go for though.
Oh yeah.
They're so lovely. They're so lovely.
Yeah, and then obviously they sent, I don't know if you can see it in the background, they sent me the signed jersey, which was absolutely unbelievable. Like I was so like taken away by that and couldn't believe it, sort of thing. So I want to get it framed now and up there, sort of thing, to look all good in the background. So absolutely, like everyone at the organization like has been amazing with me, reaching out to me, spoke with me, and I just couldn't thank them enough for everything they've done for me during this season to sort of help me with this league, sort of thing, and help me with my content as well. So whenever I post content, they're always interacting with me, reposting it. Same with the AIHL as well. If I make a video and they see it, they'll always make sure to either like, post, put it on their story, which obviously for me is very, very good, because now I've met so many people that are fans of this league, and they'll reach out to me and like DM me and be like, oh, this is great. Like, thank you for this video, or just like tell me a little bit more about the league that I didn't know before, which then when I go into the weekend and watch the game, I go, oh, I remember someone told me about that, which is like, it's so fun. And like, obviously where it's our off season, I get to focus so much on the AIHL and obviously this season. And now I just look forward to every weekend getting up early, which is crazy to say, but there has been 5 o'clock wake ups to watch some games and stuff like that. So I've been getting up, 5 o'clock.
Well, someone who's been a big football fan my entire life, like I've been so used to watching, EPL games or whatever in the middle of the night for many years. But
it's the opposite for me. I'm up early instead of watching games late at night. Now I'm up at the early hours of the morning.
Nice. I did see on your socials on Instagram, you did have a great photo of yourself in your new Perth jersey in front of a Tim Hortons.
Yeah, so I've got 2 of them. So I've got the signed one, which will be framed, and then this is my one for showing off Perth around the UK. So I'll be wearing this out as much as possible now.
Nice.
I love that.
I feel like it's a very iconic photo now.
Yeah, the Tim Hortons as well. The
Yeah.
place of hockey.
And I think as a content creator, having that engagement obviously grows your platform and helps you learn more about the sport. And then, you know, coming into your season, you've got that following, you've got those relationships. So then we can in turn learn, which will grow your game, which will be really cool.
To be fair, I haven't actually thought about that. So it'll be good to now teach you about our game this year. That's actually a really good idea.
Nice.
But I think we're 3 weeks out of our season now. So obviously it's coming up, and then you guys need something to watch. So you can tune in now to us in the middle of the night.
Perfect.
Interesting enough, there is a comment on here about this. Eric Brooks says, I've seen so many English people who like the AHL TV better than the streams for the English leagues. Do you watch any streams over in England, and how do they compare?
So this is like a very big talking point in the UK with our games. So if you're unable to attend a game in our league, you have to pay around £15 to watch it via the stream per game, which for a lot of fans is unattainable if you're either a new fan or just in general. To sit at home and watch one game for £15 is crazy. It should not be that, because hockey should be inclusive for everyone. And if you want to grow your game, it should be how the AIHL TV is done. You pay a subscription, which I made a video on about how crazily good the subscription fee is for the AIHL TV for a whole season, and you can watch every game, you get the replays, all stuff like that. And that's how it needs to be done with our leagues, because it is done perfect by the AIHL, and we have nothing like that at the moment.
Especially if you're trying to grow it at the time, like charging that kind of price when you're wanting to grow the game and grow that fan base is wild.
Yeah, 100%. There's been nothing since we had a few games on TV a couple of seasons ago, but then that stopped, and there's been no effort sort of thing yet to either make an app or get some TV rights for it. So hopefully they can see something soon, like the AIHL TV is working, and now you guys are on ESPN as well, which is incredible. Obviously, going from your own app to now being on TV, which is insane. And now that's what we're talking about. If a new fan is just flicking through the TV and sees a game on ESPN, and then that's how they get hooked. So
it's interesting because Charlie, last year they used to have one free game per week, like from about the midway to the end of the season, where, you know, on AHL TV anyone could watch it for free, but having it on that sort of thing on ESPN makes a big difference, because you can get to so many more people.
Yeah, it's how the AIHL have done this season, from my first time experience, and how they promote their league, how well they've done to get ESPN, and just their marketing of their league. It is so done so well for getting new fans into the game. I hope other leagues can sort of take that into their leagues and see that it's working for you, and it is getting so many new fans. And there's even comments and people talking to me about they're a new Australian ice hockey fan, so they're from your country, and this is the first time they've seen it as well. So that's great. You're growing it outside internationally and in your own country, which is amazing, and that's what we need more of. And I pray it happens, because when I can't get to a game, having it on your phone and just being able to tune into a stream, like the amount of mornings I'm on the road sort of thing, and I'm traveling somewhere, and I've just got it on in the corner of the car and I'm watching it, is perfect. And I need that for our league so much.
Yeah.
No, that's awesome. So there's a couple of comments on here. Daniel saying cast as wide a net as possible, and I think that's definitely the way to go. Yeah. And Australia is very lucky with the AHL TV. All NHL games also included on Disney Plus, on ESPN. Yeah, anywhere.
The growth year on year with that is obviously a benefit, because I think there was metrics that needed to be hit. I think we spoke about in finals last year. To make this possible, and obviously we hit every metric, I think Michael was saying, which is phenomenal. And then to be able to have this opportunity, it'll be very interesting to see what happens, you know, again, as a result of this with you guys, you know, overseas watching and ESPN and stuff. Like it's exciting. Do you guys have like good commentators for your games, or is it just a stream?
It's a stream, and you do sort of have commentators on certain ones, especially in the Elite League. If you buy the ones for the Elite League, then yeah. But the commentator, I actually made a video on this as well. The commentators for the AIHL, they've been so good as a new fan, because they teach you little things about all the different players and personality quirks, and like they talked. I'll give you an example. They talked about Woodman for Perth and his love for coffee, and like they told us the little personality traits, and I thought that was so good, because it made me be able to relate to a player a lot more and be like, oh, I love that too, sort of thing, and it just gets you more engaged. And like as a new fan as well, you go, oh, I look out for that player now. Yeah. And I made a video. I think his name's sorry if I get this wrong, Steve White. I think he's a commentator for one of your games, and I said about how brilliant he was whenever I watch one of his games, and I gave him so much credit for how like unbelievable he talks and just portrays the game for you guys. And he is brilliant, and hats off to him about how good he is, because I love his commentary.
Yes, he's one of the Melbourne Mustangs commentators along with Rod, and he's also had roles in the AIHL as well, and does a lot for hockey over here, and has a big voice.
He's brilliant.
There are a couple other comments here I wanted to raise, guys. Someone asked, there is a Perth in the UK. Do they get confused?
I didn't even know there was a Perth in the UK.
I think it's in Scotland.
I think it's in Scotland.
Yeah.
That's why.
Yeah. And you're down south, right?
Yeah, I'm London, so I'm very down south compared to Scotland.
And Ben points out, I swear a couple of years back, all games were shown on KO as freebies. They were, I think it was the 2023 season was the first season where all the games, I'm pretty sure, were actually broadcast. And yeah, they used KO as the platform. But obviously the AHL couldn't raise any money through that. So it wasn't probably sustainable long term. So that's why they moved to their own platform. To help try and cover some of the costs, because it does cost a lot to broadcast all the games and get all the commentators and everything going.
Yeah.
Especially
for a lot of smaller leagues as well. Like they need, like, I feel like they need a lot more investment as well from companies and bigger. Like, I know the AIHL has just obviously had that thing with Disney Plus.
Yeah.
Like that is so good. Like you think about it, so, like obviously for the finals for you guys, like it's getting people hyped as well. And if you're partnering with Disney Plus now, you think about how much it could bring you in the future. And I think that's perfect as well. That's the sort of thing every league needs now. And again, you guys are just kicking it out of the park with that one.
Yeah, nice. Tookie does have a question for you here. What's Charlie's thoughts of the quality of the AIHL compared to UK hockey?
So the AIHL is very, very similar to the NIHL, which I watch. So for me, it's been a smooth transition. The quality is just the same. The streams are very, very good as well. I think the quality of the streams, I was surprised about how good they was, because I think they're a lot better than our streams, a lot better than the NIHL streams. So it was very surprising with that. But the quality of hockey is next to that, so good. The games are entertaining, they're high scoring, some talented players in there. Obviously, there's a lot of players that come from overseas as well, but then you've got the homegrown ones like Tim's. Tim's, I think, was the first Australian player that really caught my eye as well with how good his game was. And he was just incredible. And I know for the Mustangs, he's like one of the leaders sort of thing. But the overseas players that you are able to bring over just makes the quality so much better. And it's so good to see. It's a lot like our NIHL over here.
Awesome. So we do, that's good to hear, because I've always wondered that, what is the comparison? So that's good to know, because I've only ever been to an AIHL game. I've not been to anything below that. Next time in the UK, I definitely need to check it out.
It's very similar, like how the AIHL is to the NIHL, which is very good for me because I can relate to both very well. And there's a lot of players that I think have now crossed over from both leagues as well. So there's players that I spot, I go, I've seen you play in my league over here. So it's good to see.
Yeah, and in fact, that was actually the only reason why I went to a game over in the UK in the first place was that the Canberra Brave had a player on loan from the Glasgow Clan at the time, and so when he he went back over there, and then I was going over there. I'm like, I can go see him play. So yeah, it's interesting, and there's been a lot of good connections between English teams and Australian teams. We've had quite a few players go over and play over there, and vice versa.
Yeah, I think as well where our seasons are at different times of the year, you see players go from one league to the next sort of thing, so they want to carry on playing throughout the whole year. So then there was players that were playing for Basingstoke this year that are now in your league sort of thing, and then obviously as well with Canada, like Brody Lindor as well, who does that. He jumps from Canada, doesn't he, and then comes back over here, which I'm not being funny. It's not a bad life, is it? Being able to go from Canada to Australia to play hockey.
100%. There's certainly someone on here with a thing. Quality is great, but that net at Arena though.
Arena with glass would be brilliant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, make such a big difference.
Arena is a primarily figure skating rink, so that's why it does not have glass.
Oh.
And we've been told it will never have glass, but that's okay.
So the puck can just go over the side?
The nets go so far up, but they still find their way out. Obi, the goalie, was saying even as a goalie, there's been shots that he could have gotten if there was glass because he would have heard it. Whereas with the net, even from that perspective, you don't hear it so much. So, which is interesting.
It does change how you play. I noticed just how much Canberra had to adjust when they moved to the AIS Arena from their old rink in Phillip, because they've just gone from like netting and chicken wire around the rink to having proper glass, and it takes a little bit because also the puck bounces differently, right?
Yeah, that was a huge upgrade for the Brave.
It was a very big upgrade, which they've just gone from strength to strength on top of that. Let's move on, guys, to some other things. So, obviously, Charlie, you've got your own hockey content that you produce. How long have you been doing that, and why did you start it up?
I think I really got into hockey content at the back end of last year. I think it was around. So I was posting sort of here and there on my sports card channel, sort of thing, and then I thought, I really sort of enjoyed the hockey content, but just away from sports card, just talking about hockey. So I posted a lot through the World Juniors and stuff like that, because whenever something like the World Juniors is on, or like you said, the Olympics and stuff like that, I love watching them sort of tournament. Any tournament that's international is so good to watch. So I posted, and there was a lot of traction, a lot of people interacting about the World Juniors and stuff like that. So I took it from there sort of thing, because I was like, okay, this is really good sort of thing. So now I just use it as a platform where I can grow a sort of community of everybody that's sort of like-minded and just wants to talk about hockey. And whether you're brand new or you've been in the game for 30, 40 years, it's good just to see other people's perspectives online of like their favorite players or favorite teams or where they're from and what teams they support. So I love the thing about how inclusive I said it was. And I think that's the main thing where I create content. It's just, I want to be able to reach out to every sort of fan that is maybe either brand new and just getting into hockey, or maybe too nervous to sort of post about hockey and get to know hockey. So it just shows everybody that they can do it and get involved and how good it is. So for me, it's been brilliant. And the reaction of fans just all over the world, like there was a fan that commented from the Italian league sort of thing, and I was talking to them, and I didn't even know Italy had hockey at that time. So that was brilliant. And that is the main thing for me, just the outreach of just learning different leagues and stuff for me. I find that so fun, and that's the best part about the content for me.
And so what sort of AIHL content are we likely to keep getting from you?
Well, this is the thing. So I've tried not to look at like how the playoffs has worked in previous years and stuff like that, the AIHL, because I want to just be new to learn it all. And when it comes to it, be like, oh, this is how it works, and this is how it's going ahead sort of thing. So I'm trying to keep that sort of not knowing and that mysterious sort of feel to it, so that then when I'm learning about it, anyone else that's new is learning about it too. So I'm I don't want to be too knowledgeable about it when I'm going into it. So I can be learning as a brand new fan, because I feel like that's the thing I've loved about the AIHL is the excitement about learning about this new league, and just the love for how much you go, I love hockey again, like sort of thing. Not again, but like how much I actually love hockey, because even though this is a league like the other side of the world to me, sort of thing, and I'm having to wake up on a Saturday morning, I'm enjoying getting up, and so I plan to do like a lot of live streams for the playoffs and stuff like that. So a little watch along. So maybe if anyone's scrolling along TikTok and they come across it and they go, oh, what's this? And then they click on it and then, oh, I'm going to watch this as well. So hopefully it can bring some new fans to the playoffs and stuff like that, and they can learn along with me. So a lot of live streams and a lot of videos definitely coming up for the playoffs.
Having it through a learner's lens will be good too, because you're sharing it sharing as you learn, and it puts it into a context that, again, a lot of people have come into the league this year, and it's a way that they'll be able to understand.
Yeah, that's try and be my aim for it, because if I go back and look at it and I go back and say study the previous years, and then I'm going to go, okay, I know what's coming next. Whereas I want to be surprised to what's coming next, and I can go, oh, I watched this today and this was so cool about it and how they done it. You should try it out. It's amazing, sort of thing. So that's why I'm so looking forward to it, and I can't wait for the playoffs. I'm actually so excited to get into it. Just glad I can't enter that Disney Plus one, because I didn't read the fine print where it said Australia only, so can't enter it.
Yes, this is true. I mean, I guess trying to get those rights worldwide can be a bit harder, but yeah. No, it's all good. And yes, Sky's right. Finals has changed over the years, so you might look back on how finals was run a few years ago, and it's quite different to how it is now.
So how many teams? Teach me this. How many teams make the playoffs?
6.
6. Cool.
It used to be 4.
Just learned that now.
Yep. So yes, that's why there's a massive battle happening right now in the middle of the table, because there are a number of teams that are trying to scrape their way into qualifying for finals, which will be
it's going to be a fun last few weeks.
The table, for the most part, for the whole season's been tight. It's been obviously you've got the top 2, but the rest in the middle, it's going to be down to the wire.
Yeah, the best of the rest.
Yeah, there's been lots of teams, just 3 points or so away from each other most of the year.
And you saw a good preview as well for the well, hopefully doesn't come, but the North Stars versus Perth on the weekend. I was so excited for that one, being like, well, this could be a really good playoff game sort of thing. And yeah, it wasn't a good experience watching that one.
Yeah, we can get in.
Wow.
We can move into the preview, because I also agree. I thought I'd build that whole thing as, the Clash of the Titans. I was hoping for a spectacular contest, and it was a bit anticlimactic how it actually came off in the end.
I think it was like Perth coming off a bye week again as well. I feel like I've seen this before, where Perth have come off a bye week and they're a bit slow to start a game.
Yep.
And that was definitely the case. And I feel like the North Stars really were fast-paced and physical and took advantage of that. And yeah, it was a hammering. They really did stamp their authority on that one. Especially must feel good for them going towards the playoffs, knowing that they've got that one over Perth now. But Sunday's a different game, and obviously we've got them Sunday now again, because obviously the game on Saturday's been postponed now. So they'll be fresh for Sunday, I guess, and hopefully get some revenge.
Yeah, they're those kind of games that you can't have a slow start to at this end of the competition between those two teams. You've kind of got to hit the ground running for both of them. I think this weekend it'll be good.
Yeah, I feel like there's going to be a lot of bad blood now with Perth. It's going to have left a salty taste in their mouth after that defeat. So hopefully a bit more of a physical game and stuff like that. So I'm looking forward to that one on Sunday.
And it is a North Stars home game too, which makes it hard. Well, makes it hard for Perth. Good for Newcastle. It'll be a good game either way, I think.
Yeah, I'm so excited for that one. I can't wait.
But also, it's going to be helpful for Perth too, because they don't have as much pressure, especially after coming off that loss and now playing away. People won't expect them to win, which of course they can use to their advantage.
Yeah.
Sharon does say, Perth has had a few injuries too. I mean, I think most teams have had quite a few injuries. I think Bears, someone the other day told me, the Bears had like 10 plus players who've been out. So it's been a tough trot for the Bears. Going back on the weekend, obviously we had that massive Clash of the Titans game. There were a few other big ones. I felt like the Mustangs and the Newcastle had strong weekends.
Yeah. Both offenses are flying at the moment.
Yeah. Oh,
Brody,
unbelievably.
Brody Crane as well, especially for the Mustangs.
He
back
is hit
weekends with hat-tricks.
He has just caught fire at the right time. That guy just seems to, you know, he can't miss at the moment.
That's what I was saying. Like, if he hits another one this week, like back-to-back weekends with just insane hat tricks, and obviously then you've got Timms and Lindell. Like they're clicking at the right time, like you said, and they are looking scary and scarier now. 100%. And then obviously the Ice Dogs as well this weekend, I think looked impressive as well.
Yeah,
the last derby,
because they really needed to step up too, because they've had a bit of a dip, you know, a bit messy recently, so they needed a big win, and that last derby victory, it was close, but that was really good.
It was a good game.
That was a good one to watch. I was intrigued by that one, because that's the thing. I feel like when I first came into the league, it kicked off. Was it the Melbourne derby? Was it the Melbourne derby that or it was the Sydney derby that kicked off the league, weren't it?
Yep, it was the Sydney. Yep.
Yeah, the Sydney derby, and that for me was like the first taste of AIHL for me. And then so when I saw it was like again a Sydney game, I was like, this is going to be good, sort of thing, because that was my first taste of the AIHL. I remember getting ready for that game, and I was in work when I was watching that. But I had it on my side, like just headphones in, pretending I was on a meeting, sort of thing, and just watching the game, sort of thing. And I was like, that was my first real taste, was the Sydney derby. So I was glad I got to watch that one again.
That's awesome.
Very good ones.
I imagine that will happen quite a bit over there, because there are games that sort of start sort of like 8 or 9 o'clock.
Yeah, so the Friday one is a 10:30 start for us, 10:30 a.m.
Yeah,
so
okay.
It works perfectly for me and work, because I can watch it in between meetings, sort of thing, or stuff like that. So it works perfectly for me, that one. Then it's about 5:45 start on a Saturday and Sunday towards 9 a.m. So it's normally an early start, get some coffee, and then it's a different type of, I wake up and I'm like, all right, I'm ready to watch it, sort of thing. And then I've got my whole day to go about me, sort of thing. So it is actually a nice change. And I'm not there at 3 a.m. in the morning going.
So we're actually doing you a favor.
Yeah, trying to keep awake for the playoffs or something in the NHL, sort of thing. So it's been a nice change of pace, and gives you something to look forward to on the weekends at the moment. So I'm loving it.
Awesome. We've also had, I also thought on the weekend too that the Bears comeback on the Sunday against the Rhinos was absolutely massive for their season. Obviously, they've been in a really bad trot, and that just kind of has propelled them back into the equation for finals. But devastating for the Rhinos, Claire.
Yeah, I caught my son's game was the game after, so I caught the last half of the period, and boy, was it good. It was a must win for both of them, and that's the hard thing again at this time of the year. But both teams kind of left everything out there. It was just hard to see the Rhinos shattered after. It's never good to see, the losing team in a shootout like that. But hopefully this weekend they can claw some back, Rhinos wise, against Brave.
Yeah, I must admit that was a really great game to watch. I thought it was just such an enthralling game, because at different points in that game, the one team or the other were on top. And when the Rhinos, had scored those 4 goals in a row, had opened up a 3-goal lead, you're just like, oh, they're going to do this.
They're going to
really come back into contention here. And then the Bears, their comeback, unbelievable. And Lucas and Herman scoring with 53 seconds left to go in the game. That guy has to be the most clutch player in this league. He's done that multiple times this year, where he has scored game-leveling goals with under a minute to go.
He's done that a lot, and also that's what I've also found on the Rhinos end. They've been so close to winning, and that goal, and then there was a game against Melbourne Ice at Melbourne with 2.6 seconds to go. Melbourne scored the equaliser, and it's not what you want right at the end. Like it's good for those teams, but from a team that needs to win every game now to get in, it does make it hard. Yeah. Bears, I'm glad again. They have had so many injuries this year, and obviously the Sydney Derby hurts when you don't win that. It was great to see the Ice Dogs win the Wilson Cup, but Bears to win on Sunday after those injuries was good.
I do like Andrew's comment here. If I can get my cursor to it, I was all for the Bears comeback, but then I remembered the fans with the Vuvuzelas and then thought, nope. They do make a lot of noise, Bears fans, but it was unbelievable game. But you can always just tell when one of the teams in the AIHL is really gassed and just trying to survive, and the other team is just like onslaught.
Yeah.
Because I remember, I equally remember the Bears doing that against Adelaide as well, where Adelaide was trying to hang on to their lead for all hell and high water and just didn't come off in the end. And I think it was Herman who scored as well, right at the death. He was like with 12 seconds left to go or something.
Yeah.
But craziness. But the Rhinos are still in it, which is good for you guys, because Brisbane did unfortunately get knocked out of contention on the weekend.
Yeah.
Did you say the Rhinos as well have got the Brave this weekend as well?
Yeah.
So I think it's Brave in Canberra on Saturday, and then they come up to the coast on Sunday, which is wild.
Tough one. I feel like the Brave are on a winning streak as well, if I'm correct as well. So that's a tough one to bounce back against.
Yeah, you'll see the Kubara brothers all three this weekend, because the two that play for Canberra, and then Tyler plays for the Rhinos. So it'll be. I always like seeing people like that head to head. It makes it extra fun from a fan perspective.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, because last year we had three teams, because we had one Kabara on Newcastle, one on the Rhinos, and then one in Canberra. But two in Canberra. Yeah, that should be good. Battle of the Kabaras.
Then you had the was it like the Melbourne Ice and the Lightning was like 10-8, and that's what I was talking about, like about how this league is like doesn't stop for entertainment sort of thing. Like you just said, you had that one with a shootout and the last minute goal, and then you look at the Lightning game and there's 18 goals in that one and a 10-8 finish, and obviously the Ice are still in contention for a playoff spot. And
that was a big win for them too, because they need to win all their games they can possibly do, because they're in that battle. And even though they might ship 8 goals, being able to score 10 and getting over the line is amazing for them.
Yeah,
that's such a high scoring game.
That's what I try and say to, like, when I'm making my content as well. Like, if you just look at previous results in this league and you see how much entertainment there is to offer, like where there's a 10-8 game, there's a last minute goal on a penalty shootout sort of thing, there's a derby on one day where someone's winning a cup. Like, there's so much entertainment factor, and especially now, like you said, like this point of the year, like, it is not a better time to sort of tune in and look at the storylines that are unfolding with teams chasing a playoff or teams chasing the top spot sort of thing. Like, there's so many different storylines being wrote at the moment, and it is so good to sort of just sit back and watch.
Yeah. And it was good to see the Brave get a win over the Ice Dogs at home on the weekend. Obviously, that was the makeup game from earlier in the year that got postponed because of the ice shattering. So it was good that they got back onto the ice and actually got to play that. But realistically, the Ice Dogs, they would be disappointed in that. But we already talked about it. They would be so happy that they won the Derby and won the Wilson Cup for the 3rd time ever.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was good to see their celebrations on social media after as well.
Yeah.
So,
they were stoked.
Yeah, I was speaking with the admin about it, and she was like, the boys are just unbelievably happy sort of thing, and like and so over the moon. So it was good to see them not just so happy sort of thing, and like the social media as well, just all round, it's just such a good thing to see sort of thing, like with the social medias team when they're posting that stuff online for like fans to see, and they get to see their teams after a game, which is so good.
Yeah.
Yes, the Wilson Cup's been around for quite a while, Charlie. It used to be an all New South Wales sort of pre-season tournament.
Yeah.
But then it sort of changed to being the trophy for the whoever wins the series for the season between the two Sydney teams.
Yeah, I think
we didn't get it last year because the Sydney teams weren't in the league last year.
Yeah.
So it's good to see it back, and it was good to see just that passion. So yeah, so the Ice Dogs won it this year. The last time they won it was 2018.
So, yeah, I feel like that's the thing as well with, like you said, they weren't in the league last year. So that's something we can relate to, sort of thing, because we have teams that obviously can't afford to like either ice for the season, or there's reasons they can't ice for that season. Like my team, the Romford Raiders, I think it was like a day or so away from not being able to ice for the season until someone come in and saved us. So seeing two teams that are back in the league now, it's so good to see that teams aren't just going out and not being able to put a team out for the season, either for whatever it is, funded and stuff, and that they're getting back out there and making sure their players are there and fans are like, because if you're a fan and you know your team ain't going to be able to ice that season, it's so, like, it must be so upsetting. So it's good to see these teams getting back and obviously doing so well now.
Yeah, and Charlie, it was really heartening last year, I must admit, seeing all the Sydney fans stay connected with the league. So a lot of them were travelling. Claire would have seen heaps of them, because heaps of them were going up to Erina on the Central Coast. You know, they're going to Newcastle, they're coming down to Canberra. Like they were travelling around. Yeah,
we had a lot of teams. We had players split between a lot of the teams around the country, which was good because they still got a season. And I'm sure behind the scenes, you know, management of Bears and Dogs worked their asses off during the season to get things ready to go. But yeah, it was really good to see big amounts of people travel. So Sydney to the Central Coast is only an hour and a bit, and to Newcastle is only probably an extra hour, and then Canberra the other direction. But yeah, it was really good. People were still traveling for the love of the game. So we've talked about it a lot. Like, they're really, really invested this year, and it's good to see. Finals tickets, I don't know if you heard, finals tickets sold out in about 15 minutes, which
I saw the post this morning saying there's a limited few going up for sale on, I think it's like Monday, but that's good to see that the fans are like that excited again for your playoffs this year, and it's all sold out. Like, you know, it's going to be a good weekend sort of thing. So I can't wait to watch it.
Yes, Andrew here. I'll be at the Ice vs Ice Dogs games tomorrow. Vuvuzela already packed, Andrew.
We don't get vuvuzelas. It's more we do get them at the Romford, but the away fans a lot of the time bring drums and stuff to our games and stuff like that.
I like drums.
Yeah, that's cool.
There's one team, I can't remember who it is, but they have one person who brings a drum, and he is so on it every game from the first puck drop to the last with this drum. And as a home fan, if he's at your game, it can get under your skin if you're losing. But it's brilliant to see, because people are obviously traveling all over the country, and where our games are obviously on a weekend, on a Sunday, they've got to travel all the way back and then for work. So it's good to see that there is so much support for our hockey teams in the sort of like in like a situation where you've got to travel maybe back up to the other end of a country on a Sunday night and then go to work in the morning. But I love it for the love of the game.
Yes. Sky says one of the teams has drums, and G says Brisbane has drums. So obviously there are drums around the league. I know that Canberra used to have drums as well. I don't know if they still do, but European style support is what the AHL needs. Should embrace it here. I agree. It's actually one thing that I love about the Mustangs and their fan culture. Whenever they score, they're always up with the scarves, twirling the scarves. I love that. I tried to do that in Canberra, but I didn't really catch on to me.
Yeah, that's a big European thing.
It is, very much so. So Sky said the drums used to take over Bay 4 in Melbourne. All these things always come and go depending on how long people are around or whatever. People do move on to other things, so you can lose that a bit. But yeah, if it sort of embeds itself, someone else will pick up the mantle. All right, guys, it was a good weekend. Let's move on to some topics. Let's start with the big topic, I guess. We've already touched on it a bit. Macquarie Ice Rink closing and then reopening in the same week, but the net cause is that there is no Bears versus Thunder game this Saturday.
Yep, sad about that one.
Yeah, Claire, how do you feel about this?
I think it's hard to gauge a lot when you're hearing so many different stories and there's no clear, because everybody wants to know why, right? Everybody wants to know why, what happened, things like that. It does give those teams a rest, so they'll have fresh legs for the next game. So that's a bonus. And I'm sure, between Macquarie and the AIHL, wants to see. Well, I say no one. I'm sure some people want those teams to forfeit and lose points and things like that. But really, overall, fans of the league as a whole still want that game to go ahead. So they'd be working around the clock to find a solution. It does suck, but there's still more hockey to watch.
So what happens if that game does get forfeited? What happens in your league if that game can't go ahead?
So history would say that both teams then get awarded 1 point each, basically a draw or a tie. But that might not necessarily be what happens. It's up to the discretion of the league to decide what they want to do.
Oh, okay. Okay, we need that game to go ahead then.
But a draw, like 1 point each, doesn't help either of those teams. You know, you obviously got Perth, who's gunning to try and still win the league, like the regular season, and become premiers, and at least secure a top 2 finish so that they get, that preferential treatment in finals. But the Bears obviously need it just to qualify for finals. They're in that scrap with the Ice and the Ice Dogs and the Rhinos. So that would be the worst outcome.
Does it ever get replayed on a midweek, or is it only ever on a weekend sort of thing, or like a Friday?
Only really on Friday. Like I've never seen a midweek game in this league ever.
Oh, really?
I think because there's not so many rinks around, it's jam packed. Like the schedule at each rink is pretty tight for the year.
It's hard enough to get training time for teams during the middle of the week.
Yeah. That's pretty much like over here. I think we sometimes have a midweek game 1 or 2 times a year if something has had to be rescheduled, or there's a cup game maybe or something like that. But normally it is a Friday, Saturday, or Sunday sort of thing. But very, very rarely on a Wednesday night.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to having a midweek game, but I just also don't know how economically viable that is.
Yeah. The ice time might be cheaper.
That might be true, but you probably get less fans able to go out during midweek and whatnot. I don't know. And so many teams rely on gate receipts, and game day revenue. Yeah. It's not like we're a big sport which has a massive broadcast deal like the rugby league or AFL over here, which you can basically run the league off that and not worry about anything else. But
I hope that they are able to reschedule it because the 1 point doesn't do much to help anyone. But fingers crossed. I think Doogie was right. There's more to meet. There's more that meets the eye, but I think everyone's trying to find out what it is, and that's the other thing is that then causes Chinese whispers. The hockey community is growing, but it's still small enough that things get misconstrued very easily.
Yeah, I don't know if you've caught on to this yet, Charlie, but there's definitely illegal whispers around when it comes to the AIHL sometimes. So yes, what's happening in Sydney? I think everyone's got little bits of information, but no one's got a complete picture.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I don't think Macquarie Ice Arena has had so many Instagram followers checking the stories. That's
probably true.
Well, like what you were saying with does nothing for. I was just looking at the league because obviously Perth is sitting in 3rd and they're 6 points obviously behind Newcastle with a game in hand sort of thing.
Yeah.
So obviously, a point does absolutely nothing for us at the moment.
That's right. We're a full 3 points, for instance, you're still in that fight.
Yeah, especially with playing them this weekend. If we lose this weekend, then you're looking at your 9 points with a game in hand sort of thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was having a look at what's remaining because obviously we'd love to have it rearranged. I think most people would. There's not many weeks left to go in the regular season. There is one more weekend where Perth is travelling to New South Wales, and they are actually versing the Bears on that weekend as well. I was thinking, do you reckon they could do a double point game like they used to way back when in the AIHL?
Oh, that'd be a lot on the line.
That's a lot.
Because we used to have it on the regular.
Friday, Saturday?
Like in the early years in the AIHL, it used to be the regular. You used to have 6 point games.
Yeah, because the Bears.
That would be fun at the start of the season, not at the end.
Yeah, because the Bears are sitting on 36 points currently, 2 behind the Ice and 3 behind the Ice Dogs. So that 6 points could do a lot for them if they won that.
Yeah,
massive.
But otherwise, they probably play like 3 games on that weekend, 2 of which will be against the Bears. Yeah, I don't know how you schedule that. I don't know where you schedule that.
I think we played a 3-gamer a month or so back because I think we came out all 3 wins.
Yeah, you swept the whole weekend.
So a 3-game weekend can come again.
The entire season where I saw that at the very beginning, I'm like going, this is going to be like a horror weekend for the Perth Thunder. Like, they're not going to come away with many points out of this. But they proved us all wrong and came away with 3 wins from 3. But that Sunday game, they were out, they basically gassed all game. There wasn't that many shots happening up in Brisbane, and it was a very low scoring game.
Yeah.
But,
do you think going forward, say next year, whatever, having a gap weekend between the end of the season and finals would help in case something like this does happen? Because obviously it's not the first game this season that has had to be rescheduled.
Yeah, that'd make a lot of sense. And then you also give people time to sort of rest up, any sort of little niggling injuries, have a week or 2 to recover. So that could make a lot of sense.
It is a double-edged sword, though. So we have had gap weeks before between regular season and finals in previous years. They chose this year to essentially start the league a couple of weeks later than they otherwise would have to. So in order to get that gap, you would have to start the league a little bit earlier, so the very start of April, which is then it makes it very hard for imports to be able to get in at that time. So you have more games essentially without imports.
That's true.
Or, various strengths of teams. We all know the start of an AIHL season, it can be quite crazy.
Already. Yeah, you're right.
So there is that to consider as well. Although, when you do start that a little bit earlier, you do tend to have the national team players who will be able to play a couple of games before they then go across to Worlds, wherever they are at Worlds. Yeah. So, that could also be good for them. So, I don't know.
That's true.
Yeah, I feel like I have seen that. You have had so many imports come in the first month or so of the league, whereas our league, pretty much it's all done before the start of the season. That's your roster and it gets announced. So all our signings are happening at the moment. But I feel like with when I was learning about your league, it would be there's a new import signing here, there's a new import signing there. So it is crazy to keep up with sort of thing. But then obviously you get so much new talent coming in, and there's a new star player coming in here and there, and it is good to see sort of thing. And the pool you have as well for all these imports wanting to come play in your league as well, which is huge for you and huge for your fans as well. So you've got a big pool for your league already.
Yeah. And what you do find, Charlie, is that a lot of these imports are actually signed pre-season, but they're not announced because teams are very afraid of announcing imports if they don't have feet on the ground here in Australia, because there's been cases over the years where teams have announced players who then turn around and can't come for whatever reason, or whatever happens, something happens and they don't turn up, and then people are like, what the hell, you've announced this, what are you doing? So they're quite conservative with that, so that's why you tend to get this drip feed of announcements. But also our league, you are allowed to change your rosters, your actual active roster up until sort of 1 July is when you kind of the cutoff to be eligible for finals. So you do get quite a lot of transfers and new signings throughout.
It's not a bad place to live if you're an import, is it? Coming to Australia, especially if you're coming from a cold Canada as well.
Yeah, I'll always remember when I remember talking to Bray Crowder when he first, I think it was Bray Crowder, or it could be one of the other Ice Dogs imports a couple of years ago. And they said, one of the big selling points was the house that they were putting up the import players in, because it was on the northern beaches. It was just had this beautiful view, everything. Just what a location to come to, right?
Beautiful.
Must be
Yeah.
nice to be talented at hockey. Traveling, going on. I might go play in this country this year or something like that. Take me here.
I kind of wish
It's
I could play hockey. That would be fun.
It's interesting to see, though. You see some of the young guys go overseas to various places on the off season, and they come back a completely different player.
Yeah.
They have so much growth in that off season. It's yeah.
That's what I like. You saying that sort of thing. That's something I've sort of picked up on with like Brody Lindell as well. Like people saying like this year he's taken a massive jump sort of thing since coming back. And obviously I know he does a lot away from hockey as well. Like he has his own business and stuff like that, and he's very influential online. But a lot of people are saying about how he's jumped. Obviously he's jumped around a few teams and that now. But his growth this year coming back has obviously been huge, and that is obviously only great for your league as well, because if you're getting these players that are going to play in other leagues and then they're coming back here and they've grown, they're better, it's only going to raise your talent, raise your game, especially for your homegrown players as well. Like there's so many good Australian players sort of thing, but they get to notch their level up because of all these imports, which is obviously only good to see as well.
Yeah.
Yes, Daniel says, growth as a player in person, leave boys, come back men. That happens quite often. The amount of players we've seen come from overseas, go overseas and then come back, and they will improve. So I think that's going to be continued, and I think we'll see that not just players going across to the US, but also Europe and UK. Great opportunities, and you do grow as a person so much when you're out of your comfort zone and your regular environment, and you've got to adapt.
Yeah, getting to travel the world, see the sights, and play hockey, eh?
Hard life.
I know. I've seen on some of their like on their Instagrams and social medias and stuff like that, and they'll play the game one day, and the next game it'll be like they're at the beach, beautiful like sun, and I'm just like, I look at it and I'm like, obviously where I live is very like city, it's built up. I'm like, I'm so jealous, so jealous.
Yeah,
we've not got beautiful beaches here, nothing like that.
Liam's on this as well. Same with the Kuleshov brothers. Huge year for both of them. And
they go from strength to strength.
They also would have learned so much last year, playing for the Rhinos rather than the Ice Dogs, going into a different AI setup.
Yeah. I think, again, regardless of where you are, different coaches, different teammates, you just got to have that buy-in. But I think, overseas, again, the level is very, very different and the expectation's different. Even a lot of, Danik Bouchard was saying the amount of games that they play, varies so much. You've got to be fitter. There's even more training. So it's just, you've got to adapt really.
And I guess there's also additional expectation as well if you're a player coming in as opposed to just a local, right? Like, because you're technically, you could be taking a spot away from a local. So there's extra expectation that you're going to perform.
Yeah. I think there's always pressure, especially when you see someone's an import and stuff like that. Everyone, I feel like, expects a lot more from the imports.
Yeah.
It's especially like over here as well. You sign an import, you've never heard of them sort of thing. You look on Elite Prospects or something like that, and then you go, all right, I already expect a lot of him sort of thing. Like we've had a few of them over here. Like we had one called Sean Miller. He was incredible player sort of thing. 100-point guy a season sort of thing. Absolutely, was like my favorite player, and then obviously, unfortunately, got an injury and had to retire. But that's what I'm saying. You never know where an import's going to come out of and become one of your favorite players, and you're going to see some of their talents that you'd never have thought of before.
Well, it's also true as well because as you say, a lot of the time imports come and you've never heard of them before, and you're literally going off, Elite Prospects sort of CV of who this player is going to be. And sometimes you can get players who come from a lower level than you normally expect for imports to come from, and they surprise you and they're so good. Like I think of like Schindel, for instance, down in Melbourne. What a player. Didn't necessarily come to the league from a very high level, but absolutely blown it away over here since he got here. And then, other times you do get a player who has an incredible CV and, they end up being good or they might underperform a bit. And, expectations is always there. I think as a general rule, forward imports in the AI, you kind of expect 2 points a game.
That's what I'm saying. And it's always nice when you get an import player that comes over and they stay for like, maybe you think they're going to be here for a year or two, like we've had some imports that have been now here for like 5-6 years. And then one become like when we was going, like my team Romford was going through like a lot of changes, and we didn't know if we was going to ice. Like one of our imports that sort of stepped up and like helped manage our team and stuff like that, which was good. And then we had one of our imports managing like the kids league sort of thing, and like being like a role model. So it's sort of good when you see them imports come in and they get really involved in the team and the fans and like the culture, and they buy in, like you said. And it's so good to see. But obviously, some obviously just leave and break your heart and stuff like that.
Some of but the amount of times you hear stories where they literally came over for they were just planning to come over for like, half a year or whatever it is, enjoy basically a break and, a holiday basically over here. And then they love it so much, they end up staying. So I think like Scotty Timmins and, Ty Wishart and all this, they're kind of those guys who, ex-NHL players as well, who came over here and just loved it and stayed over here.
Yeah. I think even Bert Malloy did a USA Canada and just stayed here. But I wanted to ask, in the Elite and AIHL, do you guys have like a certain cap on the amount of imports you have?
Yeah, so it started at 3 for the NIHL. I'm not too sure on the Elite League as much because that's what I'm learning about at the moment. But the NIHL has gone to 4 because we used to have Coy Prevo over here and some others mixed in with him. And Coy was a hell of a player sort of thing. I always remember a goal he scored from near on like halfway for us in the playoffs. It was incredible. But yeah, we have a cap to make sure our homegrown boys get a chance sort of thing. And like, if you bring in, like my team has brought in a Canadian goalkeeper, absolutely amazing sort of thing. But you've got to have a balance in our league. So if you bring in a goalkeeper, the homegrown goalkeeper has to play, I think it's like 30% of the games as well. So they're not just sat there not getting a chance. Some of our boys will get that chance sort of thing, because obviously UK ice hockey is trying to grow itself, and we've got quite a good group of youngsters at the moment, and they're all coming from that NIHL sort of thing, and they're not necessarily going straight to the Elite League. There's some of the NIHL boys that have gone into the UK, the Great Britain national team. Like they've not made that step up yet, but they've been so promising that they've gone and played for the country, which is so good to see. And that's why I think the cap does do good things for us. Obviously, you want the best talent, but at the end of the day, you do want your homegrown boys to sort of grow and stuff like that. So the cap is in there for a reason, and it is working for us sort of thing. We're getting better sort of thing. And Great Britain is, even though we had a terrible Worlds, it's getting better, and that's what you want at the end of the day sort of thing. You want your homegrown talent to grow and your games to grow as well.
Well, Charlie, you guys did play in Worlds. We didn't even get onto the ice this year for the men. Obviously, the women did, and various youth teams did, but yeah, the men didn't get on. Unfortunately, we were scheduled to play in the UAE, and that did not happen.
Yeah, our team we go up to the top division, and then we unfortunately it's normally a relegation back down. Then we win gold again to go back up. So it is always that, and it's always just waiting to win that game sort of thing, or two to hopefully stay up. But we'll see in a few years' time. But our game's definitely grown, which is good to see. And we've got obviously players that are going internationally now, which is good. Obviously, Liam Kirk is in Germany, and we've just had one lad. I think he's off to college now in America, which is obviously good to see. So the NCAA, which is obviously good to see sort of thing. So our players are branching out, which is obviously always good to get that better standard. So when they come over here again, that implements it to our national team, and hopefully one day we can do something in the Worlds.
Yeah, that would be great. I mean, I'm always barracking for Australia to get promoted out of 2B and then 2A. They've been in 2A for a little while now, but as soon as they ever get to 1B, we get absolutely smashed, and then we're back down again. Because I guess at that level, you're kind of playing, professionals all the time, and most of our players aren't professionals.
That was like
Andrew does have a comment about this actually. Does the NIHL have a salary cap, and do players get paid?
Yeah, they get paid. I don't know about a salary cap, I'm not gonna lie, but yeah, they do get paid. It's sort of like the semi-pro, quote-on-pro level sort of thing. But no, I'm not too sure about a salary cap. I've never wanted to ask, to be fair. I've spoke to players, but I've never inquired about that sort of thing. Or if there's a different level for like imports to our homegrown players, I can imagine imports maybe get a bit more to attract them over, sort of thing.
Yeah, it's like here in our league, like no one technically gets paid, but then you can get different benefits, and imports have different benefits to local players.
Oh, okay, yeah. Well, that's the thing is, I feel like with the AIHL, the one big benefit is obviously where your country's beautiful, sort of thing. It's a beautiful country to live in, sort of thing. So where Romford is it's more of like a built-up town, sort of thing. We don't get the beach. Well, apart from this summer, we don't get the beautiful sunshine and stuff like that. So it's maybe harder to attract the players over to it. But I know we're starting to get a better level of talent, which is good to see. And then the elite league is getting former NHLers and stuff like that, which is obviously good to see. Like the Five Flyers, obviously longest reigning team in the elite league, sort of thing. Got an NHLer over this year who was obviously on the Bruins and stuff like that. But it's slowly growing, but it's growing at a nice pace where everyone, like you said as well, is still involved with the players, and the players are getting involved, the fans and media and stuff like that. So it's good to see.
Andrew does say, paid in HP sauce and Yorkshire puddings.
I'm a massive tomato sauce guy. Pay me in it as much as you want.
No, that's fine. I must admit, I did have some HP sauce when I was over in the UK, but it is something that you can get here, but it's not as big over here. But we do. It's
a Yorkshire puddings for me.
Yorkshire puddings are great.
Oh, yeah. Yorkshire pudding on a Sunday roast.
Yeah, I remember being in Southampton and I just had like this greatest Sunday roast with just the best Yorkshire pudding. I really loved it. Anyway. So random.
Maybe one day I'll come over to Australia and have to try what you guys got to offer.
Oh, hell yeah. We can give you, meat pies and all that sort of stuff. We're big over here on all that, especially at games.
I'm just not a fan of spiders. Your spiders look like they're big enough to kill you.
Yeah, but I mean, this is what gets me. People overseas are like, "Oh, so afraid of you got spiders and snakes and stuff like this." But most people in Australia don't see these things on the reg.
It's TikTok, honestly. Like you open up TikTok and you see someone where they've got a spider as big as your head. Over here, we get like something about that big sort of thing, and it's like nothing. That's it. You don't even get like a snake or a lizard or nothing, or a kangaroo.
It does depend where you live, but if you're in a city or whatever, it's just like any other city, really. I mean, you do get there are spiders around, but they're normally pretty small and easy to deal with.
It'll be on my bucket list to definitely come one day, sort of thing. I feel like I have to.
Now you'll be welcomed with open arms over here, Charlie.
Oh yeah, the AIHL fans honestly been amazing towards me since I've been learning about it. So welcoming, I can't wait.
Nice. Oh yeah.
We just need to get you to talk to people about the UK pricing so we can get onto it and it'll be fun.
Yeah, we need to get an app. Maybe so I'll start a petition for an app to come, so then you guys can watch the app.
Because I must admit, I tried to I wanted to watch some finals games last year because Anthony was commentating. Because he commentates for the Flames, I think it is.
Yeah.
But the price was just astronomical. I was like, no, I'm not paying that for just a game.
That's what I'm saying, for one game. That's something that in the UK game has to change. If you want to grow the game, you can't be charging £15 a game. I know you need to make money, but
because I also find the same. I find the same though with the they used to have that. I don't know if they still do the streaming service for EFL teams in football, right? That was iPlayer, whatever it was. It was so expensive to get a season of that, for instance. And I thought, well, how are you going to get people to follow these teams that aren't in the Premier League if you're going to charge that much?
That's what I'm saying. You have to buy so many different subscriptions now to be able to watch all different sports, and especially someone like me who watches baseball, hockey, NBA, American football, the lot. It's a lot of different subscriptions sort of thing. It's like £30 for baseball, £50 for like NFL for the season. I think it's more than that. So it defo needs to find a balance where, especially with these say quote unquote smaller leagues, with especially the UK, you need to make your money, but at the same time, if you get more fans involved and you can get more fans into your game, you'll grow the money that way anyway. So you need to have that door open for fans to be able to come in and put money into your club. So it's like you said, it's a double-ended sword, but £15 a game, you can't be expecting someone that's brand new to go, you know what, I'm going to drop £15 on a single game.
Yeah, 100%. That's not how you grow, but yeah.
No.
I did want to get back on topic a little bit here. Obviously, the Macquarie closure and the postponed game does have an effect this weekend on who can actually qualify for finals this weekend. There are only 2 teams rather than possibly 3. So Perth were in a position to be able to qualify. Now they aren't because they're not playing 2 games. So this weekend we could see Newcastle and the Mustangs qualify.
Yeah. I think that's a given, though, them two. They're just a matter of time now, aren't they?
I suppose. But yes. This should be good. So let's move on to the next topic, guys. So obviously this evening most people would have seen, and we did touch on it before, the AIHL has released their additional tickets for finals. So obviously the original lot sold out in 15 minutes. There's a whole bunch more tickets now up for sale as of Monday.
And set the alarms.
Do you know what's crazy as well? Obviously, your tickets for your finals have just gone on sale. There was a whole thing on TikTok for the UK hockey that the Elite League put the finals weekend tickets on sale now, and the season's still a few weeks to a month away. So you don't know if your team's there.
So do you guys
be able to get there?
Yeah. Are you guys able to resell tickets?
I think you can, but I don't know if you can do that on like eBay and stuff like that, or if they. Because
I noticed this with this as well. The AIHL actually made a point in their statement about the tickets going on sale today that they don't have a platform for reselling this year, but they are looking at it for next year.
Yeah,
because I think it is a similar thing about every team bought tickets, but then if your team doesn't make it, are you still going to go watch it, or are you going to try and sell it because it's a travel game for most teams?
Well, that was like me. I wanted to go to the Elite League final this year because obviously it'd be good for content, sort of thing. Just have it as like just watching a bit of hockey. But I'm like, well, I don't know if I'm free at this time already, like in that far away. And like for a lot of fans, you don't know if you're to drop that sort of money and you don't know if your team's even going to be remotely close to getting there, sort of thing. Is crazy how you're dropping it in. And fans have just bought their season tickets.
Yeah.
So you're asking a lot of money for them already.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are season tickets quite expensive over there, Charlie?
For the AIHL, no, it's not too bad. It is a bit cheaper, sort of thing, if you want to buy a season ticket compared to buying your ticket every week. So I think it's about, off the top of my head, say it's about £16-17 per game over here to go to a game, sort of thing. So it's not too bad. And I think the Elite League could be about 20 to £25 a game. So it's not too bad. And that's like the one thing with when I went to Sparta, I was shocked that they didn't charge. They're at the O2 Arena as well. They're at a bigger arena sort of thing. And they were only charging I think it was like £12 to £13 a ticket. And for good tickets as well, I was like, that is what you need for fans, sort of thing.
Yeah.
Don't want to be charging through the roof.
I remember that, just European football in general is, relatively cheap when I've ever been, but that was like in places like Germany and sort of Central Europe, as opposed to, I know the UK, me and my friend paid a lot more for some of the tickets, like, especially EPL games or Championship or, European games, you're paying.
You're looking at £70 a game now for the Premier League, and that's if you can even get a ticket.
Wow.
That's £70 a game, and you're thinking that is how much money are they making per game, like with 50, 60,000 fans, sort of thing. But
I remember going to see England versus someone like Malta or something like this at Wembley, and it cost me like £50.
Yeah.
And that was expensive at the time, but it wasn't too bad.
That's like everything, like the NHL that's coming over, sort of thing, to Germany. They're a few £100 per ticket.
Yeah.
Like to grow that, and that's the quote unquote games to grow your game. Like, I was gonna go to that game because obviously it was like Chicago, Conor Bedard. I was like, that's brilliant. Like, get me to that game. And I was in Tenerife at the time, and So I was on holiday and I tried to get like the tickets and missed the drop. And then the tickets are like £500 now to even get a sniff at like a resale ticket.
I do remember going to the US and going to
unattainable.
the NFL in the US, and it was so expensive to buy tickets most of the time because their whole thing is basically everyone buys from resale, which I also don't think is very healthy. If the resale prices are then much more expensive than you would otherwise buy a ticket for.
Yeah.
But yeah, I remember, going to a Devils game versus, I think it was the Blackhawks, and, it was like $170, $180 a ticket.
For the regular season.
Yeah, for the regular season. Just a nothing game.
Wow. I remember going to see a Caps game in DC, and it was like $100 a ticket, and we were like third row back, which was amazing. And then went to see a Leafs game, and it was like $300 a ticket up in the boondocks.
Yeah, that's something like I think like a lot of people want to do when they want to tick off teams, but you've really got to look at how much it is now just to go to a single regular season game. Like you said, like £170 to £300 for a regular season game it's crazy money. You'd think that's for a playoff ticket.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember going to watch the Rangers play at Madison Square Garden. It cost a small fortune to go see them.
I bet that was a good experience. So I was like,
it was a great experience, except that I don't really remember the third period because I must admit I was exceedingly drunk.
But you kind of think how much like we go to games to tick those boxes, but for people who want to hold a season pass, it's going to become increasingly unattainable.
Yeah.
100%. And you start seeing people who share season passes, for instance, who they go in halves and they go, well, I'll go to half the games and you go to the other half of the games. But then you're not getting to go with people.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
That's the thing what Germany does well for their fans. They cap their tickets. And especially in football, like they won't have anything. I don't know if I'm 100% right, but I think it's like £25 or something like that for a ticket. And especially in football, like the football teams, it is all done like the fans first. Like the fans won't pay more than this, and that would be great if it could be brought into other leagues. But we're going the opposite way in all the other countries, sort of thing at the moment.
Yeah,
it's unfortunate. All right, just last thing on the tickets, there is a limit for people. You can only purchase for up to 4 tickets.
But enter this competition, and you might win them for free.
Hey. Yeah, there is a competition on the app. It actually the actual prize looks amazing for that competition.
Just read the small print because I didn't when I was trying to enter.
So if you win them, we'll take them.
Yeah, you can have them.
No, I think, Charlie, they should fly you out from the UK to the game.
Honestly, it's like Disney's not got enough money, so it should be fine.
No, it'd be awesome. But yeah, finals. We're all looking forward the countdown to finals. But I do want to now touch on to the Adrenaline. Obviously, a team who are out of finals contention. They did have a pretty cool announcement this week. Greg Ody's number is going to be retired on their game next Sunday. Not this Sunday, next Sunday, 9th of August. I think it's pretty cool. They're also retiring Candace Mitchell's number as well. And they're re-raising Josh Harding's retired number because they took it down when they did doing renovations.
That's cool.
It's pretty cool. We don't have much of this in the AIHL.
I feel like that's a positive for their season, though. I feel like they've had a very tough season. But a lot of the fans, even that I've spoke to from them, have said even though it's been a tough season, like they still are enjoying it, and it's still like the games are fun. The atmosphere is still positive, which I suppose if your season is you're out and you've only won 2 games all season, to have a positive fan base still is probably huge for the players. So hopefully next season they can turn it around and hopefully they win this weekend because I like watching Koi, so I'm a big Koi fan.
Yeah, Claire, what do you think?
I like it. I think, veterans of the league who've been there for a long time and have changed the way the game goes, I think it's important to recognize those, and he's such a big name. I think it's exciting. And even like you said, they didn't have a great season, but there are still so many positives, and the fans are still coming in droves and they're still diehard fans. You guys still have a good base team, and I guess the work starts now for next season. I really liked, total side note, I really liked the back of their jerseys. They had like an own and loan But they embroidered it on the back of the top of the jersey.
Yeah.
And I really like that, especially with the coverage on AIHL TV. It was really cool to see.
Yeah, I must admit, the first time I saw it, I went, "What is this? What?"
And it made me. Do you not have that? Do you not have own and loan?
Some teams do, some teams don't. Sometimes they'll auction off at the end of the season, or no.
Oh, okay, yeah,
I've never seen anyone put like their name on the back of the jersey for the whole season.
Yeah, that's big. We have that over here, and then before every game, when the teams get announced, it will always say like the player's name and then sponsored by, and then whoever's sponsoring that player. So you get your name shouted out or your business at every single game, sort of thing, which is always nice. And at the end of the year, they have a whole get together and presentation where you'll get your jerseys from the own and loan or whatever you're sponsoring for that season. So that's really big over here.
That's awesome.
Yeah, hopefully that can be bigger over here too. That'll be cool. Doogie does say, Candice Mitchell is an absolute A-dub legend and president of the Adelaide Rush, which is the women's team in Adelaide. Really great to see, those three go up into the rafters. And, it creates that connection between people. And, because Adelaide has such a rich history of hockey. I'm pretty sure, I don't know if this is right, but they've got to have one of the original rinks as well.
Really?
Way back when. But very, very rich history, and good to see one of their legends, well, three of their legends get their
some positive ways to end the season.
Yeah, and that's great. So obviously the management at the Adrenaline knew that they wanted to create some positive vibes for, to end the season, then head into the new one. So it's good to see. Diggy, I still have a Greg Oatey article on my website from when I interviewed him for 300 games. Still the best player I've ever
amazing.
Seen. Yeah, I saw him at his tail end of his career as well. It was pretty awesome to see. But and he commentated the other week, which was pretty cool. Get these sort of legends of the game back connected.
Yeah, well, you see that in a lot of other codes. You see that in football. You see that in soccer. It's good to have it. We have those people here, and I hope that as the next kind of wave retires, whether that be in commentating or those kinds of things, there's still a spot.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, totally agree. Speaking of jerseys and stuff like this that we were just on, the Brave are playing in a retro jersey this weekend, harking back to their 2014, their maiden season. I've just got a picture of it here. It looks pretty good. I must admit, I am super excited to see the Brave playing back in blue, yellow, and white. This is the ACT colours, Charlie. They, for whatever reason, at some point, they decided to change colors and they went black and gold, and but I really love the ACT colors, so I'm really excited to see them back in this. It should be good, and I think they're versing the Rhinos this weekend, right?
Yeah. I like the retro jerseys.
Yeah, I think the last time I saw them in a retro jersey, they had like a charity game where they played like some of the old stars from the old team, the Canberra Knights, and they were playing in a Knights jersey, a Knights inspired jersey. So that was pretty cool too. But yeah, it's good to see.
I think, if there's teams that do obviously charity jerseys, retro jerseys, alternate jerseys. I think there's only one team that doesn't have any of those. So that will be good to see next year. I think fans get onto it. And if it's a charity one, it's brilliant to raise more money. And it's also nice to see in different arenas all of the different jerseys, because sometimes you can even kind of tell when they've come into hockey based on the jersey that they've got, which is it's good conversation.
Obviously that team you're talking about, Claire, they have a rich history, so they could definitely do like a retro jersey or something like that.
Yeah, they had a great old jersey. Go.
I was about to say, I think it's always cool when you see about what you said about you see when people came into the league and you see some like older people with like absolute retro jerseys that you maybe didn't even know existed.
Yeah.
And like we have got a few, and I look at it and go, that jersey, like obviously you're never going to be able to get your hands on it, but I'm going, that is super cool sort of thing. And like me personally, like, obviously I like collecting jerseys, so I hope in like 30, 40 years time, it's like people look at it the same way and go, I remember that jersey sort of thing. Like that was from so and so year. So I think that's super cool when teams do stuff like that.
Charlie, I remember when I was a kid, I for all my sins, I was a Manchester United fan, and when I learned about hockey after watching the Mighty Ducks, I saw that Manchester had a hockey team, the Storm, and I remember their jersey and going, I really want to buy that. Like, I so want to get the hand. At the time, there was no way I could buy a Manchester Storm jersey from the other side of the world, but yeah, just things like that, and that would be so retro now. It would be so cool to have something like that.
Yeah, they do a good job over here, Manchester Storm. They have fan ambassadors as well now, so like creators and fan ambassadors to like help get their club out there, and they do such a good job as well with the Manchester Storm. But Manchester United, we're not talking about them.
United definitely fell out of love with Manchester United.
I do know that obviously there's a lot of teams that have jerseys in a NAIDOC round. It would be cool to have a retro round where the teams go to their, because there's old logos, there's old colorways, and to have that as an actual round be brilliant. Have that as a Magic round. Where every team,
that'd be so cool. And I also want to see more teams get involved in the NAIDOC round as well. Like, I'd love every team to be putting out a jersey that round.
Prize for a fan who brings the coolest retro jersey.
Yeah. Just take my money.
When it comes to hockey jerseys, take my money. I'm all over it.
I know.
I'm defo looking into getting some more from the AIHL this season at some point.
Nice.
I probably shouldn't drop that I'm an Arsenal fan. That probably wouldn't work in my favour, would it?
It's worse than Man United.
I used to have a guy in my class at school who his dad used to play for Fulham. So.
Oh, no way.
So that's very close to Chelsea.
Yeah, we're neighbours to Fulham, literal.
Yeah.
5-minute walk.
Yes, he always had some great stories about the fact that he used to be a goalkeeper, and he started a game, came on, and then he broke his wrist like immediately.
It's not the start you want.
No. Anyway, but okay, let's get back on track. Let's stop talking about soccer, football. So. So this week there were also a couple of really great videos. I don't know, Claire, if you saw any of these. The Newey fried chicken and North Stars. I thought that was so cool.
It was brilliant, and I think the fact that he came in and like gave his time again. It's growing things, right? It's growing the fan base. It's growing, Newey fried chicken. But I think the level of broadcasting this year, videography this year, like it's again leveling up every year, and it's really, really good to see. Ben Payne also does amazing videos. He did one too.
I was going to get onto that next.
It's good. It's really, really good to watch, and I think that fan engagement and even player engagement. Like you see how much that team, you see how much Newcastle, they're great mates. Like they're all in to grow the sport. They're all in to grow their team. They're all in to bring on new sponsors and are very welcoming. And you can see that with videos like this.
Charlie, did you get to see the Ben Payne video, which was basically like that sort of recap of that Clash of the Titans, between Perth?
I've not seen it. I was too busy playing the game with. Have you seen the team posting the little man on the jersey, and you've got to find it? That's what I was too busy doing this week. That's what I was doing on social media for the AIHL teams. I was looking for that. That's what I was.
Charlie, how do you find the AIHL social medias, like the team as well as the league?
When I first got into it, I just typed them all in, and I think I went to the AIHL and then just went down the list following them, sort of thing. And I watched a lot of the stuff and just tried to interact with as many as possible. So there's a lot of the admins and like the teams that are quite willing to openly interact with fans on social media, which has been really good. Like Melbourne, recently, like the Ice Dogs have been really interactive, which is good to see. So they've been really cool towards me on social media. But obviously Perth and Melbourne have been just by far like amazing, like, and all the fans. But it's that, I think that's my top thing takeaway from the AIHL, and why I'm 100% coming back next season is just like how it feels like, in a way, like a big family. Like everyone is doing the same thing, trying to grow their game. Everyone is very, very nice and friendly, sort of thing, and it doesn't matter who you are, sort of thing. Or it's very easy to go, oh, he's just trying to create content, like don't want to interact with him, sort of thing. But and to go out of your way to do something like Perth did for me and like they've only known me for a few months, is just, it talks like the standards of the sort of people that are in this league, sort of thing.
Yeah. I must admit, I do love this comment. Just touching back, Paul says, I have purchased the Manchester Storm jersey, Sean. You need to call them, though. Yeah, I'm sure. When I was like 10 or whatever it wasn't probably going to happen. But
yeah. Get on to them now.
Yeah, get on to them now. But a bit different. We got Rossi in here. A bit late for the party, but all catching up properly late. Hope you guys have had a great show so far. We sure have, Rossi.
The legend Rossi.
Let's move on to the preview, guys. So 7 games this weekend. The ESPN game has been changed. It's now the Ice Dogs versus the Ice.
Yeah.
Charlie, how do you think that game's going to go?
I'm going to go with the Ice this weekend, just because of their offensive power last weekend. Being able to concede 8 and score 10 is mentalness. So I generally think, and obviously the Ice Dogs this week, obviously they won the cup, but I'm going to go with the Ice Dogs. But I think it's going to be like a 7-6 sort of game. I think it's going to be a high scoring game, 7-6.
What about you, Claire? What do you think?
I think it is going to be a high scoring game and a tight game. I always have a soft spot for the Dogs, so I will back the Dogs in this one. I think, again, they won both, well, they won those ones on last weekend, so they got to both hit the ground running. But no, I hope that the Ice Dogs will hit their stride. I
think these games are just so hard to judge because it could go either way. Like, it really comes down to who's going to turn up on the day. I do think, though, being in Melbourne on home ice might advantage the Melbourne Ice, because their fans are amazing. They get so loud.
It's a great rink too.
Yeah.
You are in the Ice jersey as well.
I am wearing the Ice jersey.
Can't go against them.
But, like, the Ice Dogs are they're having such an amazing year this year. They're come back into the league and just hit the ground running, and they could have like this magical season. Yeah. Which would be awesome for their fans because they've been long suffering. Obviously then we've got the Rhinos in Canberra we touched on before. They're both traveling to both each other's rinks in 2 days, which seems crazy, but it is what it is. I know that Canberra and Newcastle used to do this quite a bit, so it's interesting that we're doing it with the Rhinos this year. What do you think, Claire? Do you rate the Rhinos to be able to get the wins they need?
The Rhinos have been having really, really good third periods. I wouldn't be surprised if it goes 1-for-1. Brave win 1, Rhinos win 1. It's just, I feel like it's going to be a competition of who's hungry enough at the end of the day, if that makes sense. Yeah.
Because I think the Rhinos do have the firepower to test the Brave, but the Brave have been on such a roll, unbelievable form. Yeah. We did look at this last year as well when they basically had the same policy. Oh, we're going to sign, good imports who are going to take a while to come from America because they're finishing their own playoff seasons over there. But, we'll then go on a late season roll, get into finals, and then go for the cup. They seem to be doing the same again.
Yeah. They're on like a 5-win streak, I think it is, as well, going into this weekend. So, I'm going with the Brave.
It should be a good series. I also think it might be a split, but I think that both the teams will win their home games. There we go. Make the fans happy. Make the home fans happy. Obviously, we got another clash of the Titans. This is number 2. We sort of talked about it before. I don't know. It could go either way, but I'm kind of thinking the Thunder could get one back over the North Stars this time.
Yeah, I'm going to go with that because I feel like it's left a bitter taste in their mouth. Losing the way they did on home ice must sting. They've got an extra day to rest up now as well with the game being postponed. So I think the Thunder are going to – it's going to be a close one though, but I don't think it's going to be as bad as it was before. But I think the Thunder will get this one done with a bad taste in their mouth.
I also feel like it's, it feels like it's time that Hikosaka has another big game.
Yeah, I feel like Palouse really stepped up lately. He's been incredible to watch. But Hikosaka, I think he's lying for the playoffs. He was obviously last season's MVP, weren't he? But he's waiting for the playoffs. So watch out.
Yeah. What about you, Claire? What do you think?
That's the game I'll be at this Sunday, and I'm super pumped. I think I'm gonna go with Newcastle, just because sometimes Perth do have a slow start. I hope that they don't. I love both teams. I think they're both. Yeah, it's gonna be a hard one. I think it'll be a 1-goal differential. I'll say that.
That'd be cool. Do you reckon OT at all?
No, I say that. I don't know, but I'm going a 1-goal win to Newcastle.
Okay.
It could be a long day though if Perth have another slow start because, like you said, it's on home ice for Newcastle this week. So if they have a slow start, it could be game over before it starts.
I feel like they don't have that curse of having that week off. Like they're going to be clicking more.
And they're going to, like I said, have that bitter taste from last week's absolute pummeling.
That's true.
Totally. And so the Ice, they have both the Sydney teams this weekend. So obviously we already talked about the Ice Dogs, but they've also got the Bears. That's another like
that's a hard one.
It's like a 6-point game.
Yeah.
I don't know who's going to win that.
I hope the Bears. But again, it's a hard one, and Ice mean business at the moment.
Yeah. I'm going to go with the Ice on that one. I think Ice are going to roll towards the playoffs now.
I feel like we're just picking opposite teams. Yeah, it's fine. So fine.
Paul asks is the Hasback at Perth. So that's what's his name? Name's escaping me. Robert Hasselhurst. I don't know. Because he's missed a lot of the season. He hasn't played that many games this year.
I have to see as soon as the rosters come out.
Yeah, I'll have to check up on that because I don't know Paul. Sorry. But yeah, he's been such an important player for that team for so many years. It has been different not having him around, but Perth has still performed so well. They've got such depth in the defensive stock, especially their local defensive stock. I've been saying that for a number of years now.
A long time, yeah.
So they're really primed to really challenge for the Goodall Cup this year,
and they got good goaltending as well. I think their goaltending duo is really, really good.
Probably the best Australian goaltending you could have, really, because going into this, Lexi Toivonen is such a good goalie, and then you bring over Charlie Smart, who obviously is originally from Perth, and he was at North Stars for quite a few years. He's also a number one sort of goaltender as well, and they've both been performing so well. So 100%. Have that tandem. Whoa.
Yeah, that's a good tandem to have.
But that's when you can see that the depth is there. Like the teams at the top have depth.
Yeah,
and they're playing multiple lines. That's where you notice the big difference.
Yeah, I'm hoping for a big game from Tenasalmi as well for the Thunder, because I love that guy. He's such a good hockey player. But yeah, last game I've got on here, guys. Obviously, Adelaide. We're back in Adelaide. They're versing the Ice Dogs, who have to be doing a crazy 2-city weekend. Do you reckon they could spoil the Ice Dogs finals chances? Charlie?
Head says no, heart says yes. Head says Ice Dogs get it done, but heart says I'd love to see Koi Prevo get another win for them.
If there was someone to do it, he would be the one too.
Yeah.
He's such a leader.
Yeah, so head saying the Ice Dogs will take this one. Heart saying I hope Adelaide could end the season on a bit of a high and get off that one win in regulation.
Yeah. What about you, Claire?
I think again it's a mental game. Like we've talked about, if Adelaide come out and think they've got it and play fierce from the get-go, it could be an upset. It's interesting when, you know, if yes, the season's over, but well, you know what I mean, but it's not. But if they come out there, they can still upset the table. And if they leave it all out there, you never know. Because you just don't want a team to go in thinking, oh yeah, we've got this.
Yeah. Like you said, though, it's preparing for next season. They've got to play now, like they're getting ready for next season, and they're not just rolling over for the rest of this season, because otherwise that just sets a bad standard going for next year.
Correct.
And I actually thought, like, you know, I watched them in New South Wales last weekend or weekend before. I can't remember if they had the bye last weekend now, but they played really well. Like they put a lot of, you know, teams to the sword there, and they could have won those games, but they obviously just didn't get over the line, which seems to be their season. But yeah, they could come out with a win at home, which would be great for their fans. But yeah, not so great for the Ice Dogs.
End off a week of good news for them with that. You said about the jerseys going to the rafters. It could be a nice week for them if they can get a win.
Yeah, that is true.
Dougie says, Sean, never talk to me about an episode going long next time. Yeah, this is a long episode, but that's all good. I do think that's probably a good way to wrap it up. Charlie, any final words?
Just thank you for having me, and hopefully the rest of the season goes good for all of you guys. And I can't wait to make some content for going into the playoffs, and hopefully it doesn't disappoint. It's a crazy playoffs, and hopefully Perth can take the cup.
If anyone wants to follow you, how do they do that?
So Charlie Hockey 96 on Instagram and TikTok.
Awesome.
Claire, any final words?
No, I just think it's going to be, again, interesting to look next week at how the is if those two teams can qualify for finals this weekend. It'll be good to see.
It should be good. Yeah, I guess my final words I want to say is I just want to say a big thank you again to Sky for the jersey, and she also gave me a foam Rangers.
I love that.
Which was pretty cool. That she got from a Rangers game, which is pretty awesome. And yeah, I just want to thank you both for coming on tonight.
Thank you guys.
It's been so fun.
Everyone watching and listening, thanks for joining us tonight. Thanks for joining in the comments. We absolutely love you guys, and just keep connected on socials during the week, and we'll see you next week, and enjoy the hockey. All right, guys. Peace out.
See you later.